Today I want to replace another of my old videos, one that I did about 5.5 years ago. I want to do it in high definition now. And back then I wasn't putting the metric equivalents in, which I'm trying to do in all my videos now. Another reason is because the holidays are coming up. And I think this is an easy way to make an appetizer. You can make it a day in advance, put it in the refrigerator, and then put it out the next day while your guests are waiting for their dinner. Now, I've got to say, very few people that I've met are indifferent to chicken liver pate, but I've turned a lot of them. I brought some to a potluck one time. I was requested, bring your chicken liver pate. And my friend was there. He loves my chicken liver pate, and his son-in-law was there. And the son-in-law was like looking at it, I don't know. My friend kept saying, try it, you'll like it. He finally got up enough courage to taste it, and he was like, oh, wow, this is good. He wouldn't leave it alone. So if you're not sure about it, give it a try. And if you've got friends who you're not sure whether they're going to like it or not, put it out. Some of your guests are going to like it, some of your guests are not. Who cares? The thing is, it's an easy thing to make. It's almost sinfully easy to make. It's something to be guilty about, because I've seen some very complicated chicken liver pates. Julia Child did one in one of her French chef videos. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really, really simple, which I'm going to show you. So let's make chicken liver pate. In my skillet here, I have about a tablespoon of oil. And then what I have here is 3 Italian sausages. They're about 4 ounces each. You need about a total of 12 ounces or 340 grams. I'm using mild Italian sausages, and you can see that I slit them so that I could take the skin off and put the meat in there. This is why it's almost guilty pleasure, because it's that simple. The Italian sausages are going to do all the seasoning for me. All right. And then I'm going to break these up in my pan as they're frying. I've broken up my sausage, as you can see there. So what I have here now is almost exactly, this is 0.97 pound. This is about 1 pound, which is 454 grams of raw chicken liver. I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to break that up. And I'm going to fry this until it's completely cooked all the way through. Could be as long as 15 minutes. I would say 10 to 15 minutes to fry all of this. I'm going to follow a pattern of Julia Child. She used butter in so many different things. I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter to this. It'll give me a little bit more fat, a little more flavor. By the way, I'm cooking this over medium-high heat. And if you want a spicier chicken liver pate, you could put in some red pepper flakes or some cayenne pepper, or you can use hot Italian sausage rather than the mild or sweet sausages. This is the flavor that I like, and this is the flavor that my friends like, so that's what I'm going to work with. I want to show you something in here. You can see all this liquid, this water. That's from the meats. That'll boil off. What I do want to do is just grind some freshly ground black pepper in there. That's the one seasoning that I want to use. I cooked this for just over 10 minutes. It was about 11 minutes. I wanted to make sure that the chicken livers were cooked all the way through, and they do appear to be. Now I'm going to let this cool down. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about the croûtes. Now, what do you put your chicken liver pate on? Well, you can buy things like Melba toasts. They look like that, little thinly sliced pieces of toasted bread. Some come like this in little rectangles, some are round. I'm going to make my own. So what I have here is a long baguette. And I'm going to cut some slices, maybe 1/4 inch thick. A little bit less than a centimeter maybe. I'm going to slice these up, and then I've got a sheet pan ready that I'm going to place these on. I have in the meantime melted some butter, a few tablespoons, and I've got a pastry brush here, and I'm just going to dab each of these with just a little bit of butter. I'm finishing up here with my butter, just trying to use up the last of what I melted. I am in the meantime heating my oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 135 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bake these 25 to 30 minutes. I don't need to brown them very much. They might brown a little bit. My biggest concern is I want to get these thoroughly dried out. I set up my food processor, and I'm going to put my cooked meat in there. I did taste the Italian sausage, the cooked Italian sausage, because I wasn't sure how salty it is. It's pretty salty. It's the first time I've used this particular brand. I may not need to add any salt to this. Now, I realize not everybody has a food processor. This makes it so much easier, and I get a nice, smooth pate. I've never done this by hand. I've always used a food processor. So if you don't have one, I apologize if I've made this too complicated for you. Okay, I always put a barrier of plastic on there. That way it helps to keep the top part clean. I'm going to chop this up until the meat is smooth. That looks good. Less than a minute. All right, get this off. And then get my tasting spoon out. Now I can taste it for salt to see if I need to add any salt to this. I'm going to go without the salt. I just don't think it needs any salt. This is ready now to finish up by putting into molds. As far as molds, I have some ramekins that I can use. I also have some of these fluted dishes. I lightly oiled the inside, hoping that the meat will come out easier later. Just press this into the bottom of the... I can see little red pepper flakes in there. Ooh, those sneaky guys. They snuck in some spicy hot into my... I checked the label, by the way. I did buy mild Italian sausage. Okay, so you just want to kind of pack it in there nice. And then later on, after this has had a chance to chill, I'll turn it over and put it on a plate with the croûtes that are in the oven. And that'll be ready to serve. So there is my chicken liver pate. I used a knife to loosen it around the edge. That should pop out. And there it is. And then I wanted to mention something about my croûtes. I went back and did some more because I cut these super thin. Because if they're too thick, they're difficult to chew. So I'm going to put some of my croûtes on my plate. And then I also opened up some of those Melba toasts. I'm going to put those out as well, because I've never tried these rectangular ones. I usually have the round ones when I buy them. And I did also want to mention the whole idea behind this chicken liver pate is convenience. You may not want to make the croûtes. I always buy them. I rarely ever make them. If you're going to be doing a holiday meal, it may be too much work to do the croûtes. I put a little bit in one of these Melba toasts. I want to see how this tastes, how crunchy this is. You can hear crunchy, but good. All right. And then I put some on one of my homemade croûtes, so I can do this by comparison. About the same, but delicious. I love chicken liver pate. So So excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy my snack of chicken liver pate. For a printable PDF copy of this recipe with step-by-step photographs, visit my website, mobilehomegourmet.com, and look on the home page or in the recipe archive.